for the culture. They gon' bite like vultures. Do it for the.
And you know this.
The one thing I hate hearing or reading about is the death of a child, especially when it's a death that could have and should have been prevented. Kyrell Matthews was only 2 years old when he was killed by his mother Phylesia Shirley and his mother's partner Kemar Brown in October 2019. Paramedics were called to the 2-bedroom flat in Thornton Heath, Croydon, where Kyrell lived with his mother and Kemar Brown. Kyrell was found laying on his back on the living room floor in cardiac arrest. Shirley had called the non-emergency 111 instead of 999. She reported that her son's eyes were rolling back and calmly told the call operator it was as if he couldn't breathe. It was said that there was no initial urgency to her voice.
Hello, you're through the NHS 111 service. And what is it I can help you with today?
Basically, Kyrell, he's been acting really funny, like his body's floppy and his eyes is rolling back and his chest is like coming out like he can't breathe and he's not responding properly.
Okay, so is he awake at the moment?
Yeah, but it's like he'll be laying down and then he lashes out and then he's just not, he looks like he's not here basically. His eyes are just rolling back.
Based upon that information that you have just given me there, but it's advised I do arrange an emergency ambulance.
Hearing that 911 call, would you think there was any urgency? Would you think this was a mother calling because her child was laying on the floor unresponsive and was technically near death? A post-mortem examination found that Kyrell had 41 rib fractures and internal bleeding from a 4-centimetre cut to the liver. There was bruising to some of the abdominal structures, bruising to the trunk, and there was significant bleeding in the abdomen as a result of the internal laceration caused by external forces. Shirley and Brown both said the injuries had been caused when they were incorrectly told to use 2 hands to administer CPR rather than 1. But this was disproved by the prosecutors, who said Kyrell was attacked on 5 occasions between 2 hours and 4 weeks before his death on the 20th of October 2019. His second birthday had just been a month before, on the 19th of September. 5 months before Kyrell's death, Kyrell was taken to hospital with a head injury and medics launched an investigation. Kyrell was said to have suffered a significant injury to the side of his face and spent 5 days in Croydon University Hospital. But Shirley and Brown claimed Kyrell had accidentally fallen from a sofa and banged his head against the metal base of a high chair. Their story was accepted even after medics at Croydon University Hospital ordered an investigation. Social workers carried out at least 1 follow-up visit to the flat, but the couple hid their abuse of Kyrell. A few months before this, police had been called to an earlier domestic incident when a neighbour reported hearing shouting and screaming coming from Shirley's flat and a female voice saying, "Stop hitting my face," but no offences were identified and Kyrell was said to have appeared safe and well. 2 months before Kyrell was killed, he went to stay with his grandparents. He didn't settle. He wouldn't eat and he whined all night. And again, in October, shortly before Kyrell's death, Kyrell had gone to stay with relatives and was said to have been reluctant to get out of the car to go back to his mother's flat. Kyrell's father, Kyrell Matthews, lived elsewhere. He says when they spent time together, they would watch Peppa Pig and play with toys. But in August 2019, he and Shirley had a disagreement, and it was at a christening that month where he last saw his son alive. By this point, Shirley had begun a relationship with Kemar Brown. Brown had recently been released from prison. He was said to have had a violent past. He had a number of previous convictions, including for robbery, battery, possession of a knife, and restricting and obstructing a police officer, as well as being subject to a non-molestation order relating to a former partner. When Brown came on the scene, members of Kyrell's extended family noticed that they were slowly being pushed away. They began to see less and less of Kyrell. Brown would spend most of his time at Shirley's flat and regularly sleep over. He told police, "She wants to keep an eye on me." Both relied heavily on cannabis. The court heard the couple were both cannabis addicts and had been smoking shortly before Shirley made a non-emergency call, which alerted paramedics to her son's fatal injuries. One of the medical team said there was a strong stench of cannabis as they entered. Now, I'm not going to sit here and make you believe that weed had anything to do with these doing what they did to their child. We don't make you beat a child. Brown has always denied murder, while Shirley denied murder but did admit to allowing the death of a child and allowing serious physical harm to a child. On Friday the 4th of March 2022, Brown was found guilty of murder and Shirley was found guilty of manslaughter. On Friday the 25th of March, Brown was jailed for life with a minimum of 25 years as well as a concurrent sentence of 8 years for causing or allowing serious physical harm. Shirley was jailed for 13 years with a 5-year sentence to run concurrently for causing or allowing serious physical harm. They were said to have shown no sign of emotion as they were led to the cells. Following the sentencing, Kyrell's father, Kyrell Matthews, said in a statement, "I trusted when he was not with me and my family, he was in a safe place with his mother and her partner." Now, one of the most sickening things about this story is that even after Brown had killed her child, Shirley still ended up getting pregnant for him. Shirley was said to have been heavily pregnant when she made her first appearance in court in January 2021. A man kills your child and you still lay down with him and have a baby. What is it in you that you don't love that will make you even want that man to even touch you? Like the quote says, children are a reward. And anybody who does not deserve that reward,
yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell.
And you know this. And you know
Do it for the culture. They gon' bite like